Hello friends, and welcome back to our homestead. Today is a perfect day to harvest herbal seeds for the following year. It's already autumn, we already had a first frost, many leaves already down, beautiful foliage everywhere, and we already had a first frost. Not severe frost, but a frost, and many of my herbal plants already dead. Nothing pretty to look at. And some of them are perennials, meaning that they're going to be coming back the following year and growing beautifully. Like here, for example, I have wormwood. Wormwood is a first year, so it didn't have a chance to blossom yet, but it is a perennial plant. Look how beautiful it is. This silver, beautiful, like shimmering almost on the sun. This is a beautiful perennial plant, and I have a big patch of it growing. It will come back next year. There's no seeds for me to harvest just yet because it didn't blossom in the first year. It will blossom the following year. And the following year, I will collect the seeds to store up, to save up, to share with somebody or to sell, something like that. But this year, I'm not touching it, and it will come back the following year because it is a perennial. I also have a perennial patch over here of feverfew. Look how pretty it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. And also because it's a first year growing, big, beautiful plants. It's a first year growing, so it did not produce flowers, so there is no seeds for me to collect either. So I have nothing to collect there. I also have a few patches of yarrow, and we had a deer that keeps coming in my yard and eating my plants, including yarrow. It ate most of my yarrow. So this is also first year, and it did not have flowers. So there is no seeds to collect for yarrow, all right? So something that like that I cannot collect. Also, I cannot collect seeds of this sage. There were no flowers on this sage this year. So what I'm gonna do is, it's a big, beautiful plant. It will not survive in a cold New England winter. It will not survive outside. So this plant actually was very small. I saved it from last season. I dug it up, I put it in a small pot, and I brought it into my greenhouse where it was still cold, but not as bitter cold as outside, and it lived through the winter. So I will be harvesting lots and lots of it. Look at its beautiful leaves. And we're going to be saving it for herbal use in cooking, for culinary purposes. And I also going to be saving it for medicinal purposes. And I have a video about how you guys can use sage. It's a beautiful, wonderful medicinal plant. Beautiful velvety leaves. Oh, they're beautiful. I strongly encourage, I'm going to put up a link. I don't know which part of the screen it will be on, but please take a look how you can make sage elixir. It's so easy to make, and it's so good. And it's really good herb to have on hand, not just for cooking, but for medicinal home remedy purposes. Again, everything that I share on my screen, please don't take it as a medical advice. I suggest everyone do their own research. Read herbal books, ask your practitioners. Most practitioners actually don't know anything about herbs, so I take that back. But they can help you to look up to see if there are any contraindications for you or drug interactions for people who are taking prescribed medications. Sometimes it's important to know herbs cannot be mixed with many pharmaceutical medications. So for that purpose, yes, go ahead and ask your practitioners. But otherwise, herbalist is who you need to talk to if you want to use any kind of herbs. All right, so I have quite a few more of plants growing here, and some of them froze. Look at this pile of frozen plants, big pile of frozen plants. So I want to save up their seeds. I have some beautiful marigolds that I have growing. They were really tall, big, beautiful marigolds, and I want to take some of their seeds because I had some yellow, orange, and really dark colored marigolds. I want to save up those seeds, not necessarily because they're very expensive and difficult to come by, but I know that they were grown organically and they were beautiful. See, anytime when you save seeds, when I save seeds, I take it from the best plant. I never take it from an ugly, small, little plant that didn't grow very well. I always take it from the best plant because that's the one I want to reproduce. So I'm going to be taking seeds from this big, beautiful pile. And then the other seeds I'm going to be saving today. See, they're already falling down. You see them beautiful seeds everywhere? The other beautiful seeds I'm going to be saving, and I know there's not much to look at right now because they all froze already and the season is over, is toothache plant. If you have seen my recent video about toothache plant and how it can be used medicinally, it's something that many people don't know about. But toothache plant is wonderful, and growing it from seed, it's a perennial plant, but growing it from seed is so easy, so easy. It's such a forgiving plant, and I'm going to be saving those seeds today. So let me share with you how I'm going to do it. It's not the most glamorous looking video here, but look at these beautiful flowers, and as soon as you touch it, the seeds are falling off because they're already dry. And just like that. So what I can do is I can take the whole head of the flower, just like this, break it off and do this at home. Or because it's already so dry, I can just go ahead and loosen them up with my fingers. And each and every one of them is actually a seed, just like that. So I have a little pile here because I wanted to save for a friend of mine who asked me for these seeds, and I want to save it for myself. Again, I'm picking the biggest ones. I'm not going to take the little ones. I'm going to take the nice big plumpy flower heads, and that's what I'm going to be using for seeds. It's very important that whatever seeds I store, not just that they are nice and big and plumpy and beautiful, but also that they are super dry. Because if I try to, oh, they just fly in the wind. Goodness, it's so pretty. Also, if I try to save seeds of flowers that are still moist, there is a danger of making it moldy, and then the whole thing will just go bad. That's not something that I want to do. So it's very important that when I bring it in the house, okay, I'm gonna make sure that they're nice and completely dry before I store them away. Not all herbal seeds are ready for picking. For example, here I see some that are very, let me see if I can zoom in with my, okay, can you guys see this? Some of them are ready for picking and they look very mature, where others are still literally blossoming. Can you see those flowers? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here with scissors, cut them off, and see which ones are actually mature and ready for storage for next following year. These are actually my parsley seeds that I like to see grow and then save for the following year. Prime example of these guys, this is cilantro, and look how ready they are. They're nice and dry and already brownish, and they are ready for picking. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put a large bowl right underneath, and I'm gonna throw them right in there so they can finish up drying already in the house. It's nice and a windy day today. It's very warm. I try to pick my herbal seeds for storage before first frost if possible, but unfortunately I missed that opportunity. We already had a light frost 2 nights ago, but it's fine. Today is a nice and warm day, and I'm gonna pick them just like this, and they're gonna be beautiful seeds for the following year. Now we're in a house, and I brought them all in because I wanted to work in a dry environment rather than my greenhouse. My greenhouse is super humid right now. So I'm just removing these. So this is a toothache plant. You see that? Toothache plant. And all I'm doing is just I'm pulling back to remove, kind of break off, because it's super dry right now. So all of these little fuzzy petals are falling off the flower. But that's not the seed itself. The seed is actually, I'm gonna attempt to bring my camera even closer. My camera is not that great, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show you. But let me put it on the envelope and try to bring it even closer. And when I am moving all of these little fuzzy pebbles apart, you can actually see the black spots of seeds. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that? Little pebbles of seeds. Those are the seeds that we're looking for. That's what it is. So some of them are a little easier to identify. Okay, let me put this back and let me show you the marigolds. The marigolds are a little bigger and they have little spears. So when I open these little spears, okay, again, let me just drop a few on my hand. And I'm just gonna break up these little spears. See, this is a seed right here. See that whole little spear? That's a seed. All right, so every herb has different looking seeds. So I am big about preserving your own seeds because it is about food security. In my case, these are herbs, so these are different marigolds, and look at those little spears literally breaking off. Do you see those little spears? That's what I'm talking about. Those little spears are the seeds. That's what we're looking for, okay? Coriander or cilantro is much easier. As you can tell, it's a little seeds, little pebbles of cilantro, coriander, okay? So those are much, much easier. Then I always also harvested some holy basil. Now, holy basil is a little bit more difficult because there's a lot of fuzz that comes with the flower, and we need to separate this, you know, seed from the shaft, right? We need to separate it. So how can we do it? Well, I remember my grandmother would break them up, and literally stand and blow outside on the porch, and she would blow on them, and all the unneeded things, all these fuzzy things, all the shaft would just literally blow away, leaving the seeds behind, okay? As a matter of fact, I have a video about how I save holy basil seeds, so I'll put a link to it. So this is a little bit different than saving seeds of cucumbers and tomatoes, because those come in liquidy, kind of like mucousy consistency, that mucus has to be fermented out and washed out. This is different. This stuff, we need to dry it up. So how can we dry them up so they're nice and dry and there's no moisture in them before we store them away? Well, it is important that the room is not humid at all, okay? It cannot be any humidity. So I do not recommend putting it in, oh, look at these beautiful seeds. Look at them. Look at all these beautiful spheres. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't this gorgeous? Nice. So these are my marigolds. So I like to keep it in a non-humid environment. So if your house is very humid, put a dehumidifier, okay? And a fan nearby, but not directly on the seeds because they're all gonna blow away if it's right on them, okay? So it's important that it's not directly on the seeds themselves, but nearby air circulation. And it's away from the sun. The sun will break them down too fast, and it has to be a well ventilated area. I do not like to use dehydrator, because dehydrator, even though you can set it at a very low temperature, it still will cook the seeds and they will be no good, okay? So after we remove them from the flower themselves and we end up with a bunch of fuzzy things, we actually need to blow away those seeds and only stick with the little tiny black specks. That's the seed itself. And then we need to store them. I like to store them right in the envelope. I take a clean, dry envelope, put them inside envelope. I label what it is. I always put down what year it is. And then I keep them in the refrigerator. Yes, my friends, I keep my seeds in a refrigerator because I find that that is stimulating the winter months for them, and they will germinate the following spring. So there are some wonderful online companies that you can order your seeds from. For example, I like to get my seeds from this company. It's called the Survival Garden Seeds. It is Ultimate Medicinal Herb Collection, 36 heirloom seed packets. And this is a wonderful company. It is non-hybrid, heirloom seeds, very good quality. I really, really like this company. If you're interested to order from them, I will leave a link in the description box so you can go ahead to their website, click on the link and order your own seeds. And they're very, very good quality to start with. But I am telling you, my friends, we need to learn to be renewable on our own homesteads and our own farms. We should not be relying on a supplier every single year to give us seeds. We should be able to identify good quality plants, herbs that grow well in our environment. See, sometimes people make mistakes when they grow an herbal garden. They go online and they order seeds that they like, but without realizing, guess what? It may not grow in your growing zone. So you need to know what will grow in your growing zone. And that is why I like to go ahead and save my own seeds that I know do well in my soil, that I'm going to be using in my own apothecary. Okay? So let me just go through all of them. It's going to be a big pile. And then I'm going to blow away all of these fuzzy things on the wind and save only the black little specks. Another way to separate all this fuzziness from the seeds themselves is to use a fine mesh strainer. And I'm just gonna shake it, and the seeds will fall through, and all those seeds hitting the parchment paper below. Okay, and here it is. This is what they look like. Tiny little firm pebbles. So what I've decided to do was, after I went through a very coarse kind of sifter, very wide sifter, then I used a finer sifter, just like this. And this is what fell through. Some of there's a little gray color, but most of them are darker color seeds. So now I'm going to be putting it in a dry envelope, because I like to use paper envelopes, not plastic, simply because I believe that the seeds should have a chance to breathe and not retain any moisture. Now, I have collected these flowers 5 days ago. 5 days ago. I brought them in the house, so they're all in here now. So I'm going to seal them and I'm going to label them. I brought these flowers home 5 days ago. Toothache 2024. So now this envelope is going to go into my fridge. And that's why I like to store them in my refrigerator. So they don't get moldy, they don't go bad, and I like to use them the following year, just like this. Just again, to review, when I brought those flowers home, okay, I brought those flowers home 5 days ago, and they sat in my living room, I know, out of all places, right? And they were continuing to dry. Okay, I made sure that they were not near the moisture anywhere. I made sure that there was good airflow, and they were sitting and doing their thing, and they're super, super dry now. Look at them. So all of these beautiful flowers now I'm going to separate, and I will save them for use following year. Friends, I strongly encourage you, this is the time of the year to go in your gardens and save up herbs that you want to regrow again next following season. Okay, there's just something very special about your own seeds, not dependent on a supplier. And we all remember what happened in several states in 2020 when you could not purchase seeds. They were not available online, okay? And all of a sudden you could not buy seeds because they were deemed as not necessary, okay? And when you did go online, many good seeds were gone very quickly. But if you know that this is something you want to grow and something that grows very well in your area, save them, dry them, separate them, and sift away the chaff away from the seed, store away the seeds, okay? We have to be more renewable on our own homesteads, okay? We need to think about food security. We need to think about herbal security, okay? Those are the things that we should be responsible for, and we should not be placing those responsibilities on other people's. Okay, this one is not good. This one is a dud. No seeds in this one, but this one has beautiful ones. See? Looks like a porcupine needles. Aren't they gorgeous? So we need to be responsible for our own gardens and what we produce. Earlier this season, I gave everyone a challenge to grow food to feed your family for a year. Learn to grow how much you need for your family size, okay? And then this one is going to be not just for saving seeds for your vegetables, but this is also to save seeds for your herbs and for your medicines, to learn how to treat your family naturally with very simple herbs, okay? So I challenge you now is to review your planting for next year. Start drawing out the plans for your gardens, for your herbal gardens. What are you going to be planting there? How are you going to feed your family? How are you going to support your family from your homestead, from your gardens? And even if you don't have a big plot of land, let me tell you, we here in America love our lawns. And that's great. That's lovely. But our lawns do not feed us. There, I said it. Our lawns do not feed us. Our lawns are there to enjoy, but they do not feed us. Why can't we turn portion of those lawns into beautiful gardens that will feed us and will heal us? So that's my challenge for you, my friends. So on this note, go outside, find some herbs that you want to save, start pulling those flowers, save those seeds. So be encouraged and try something new.